Imagine a world without bread. No toast, no sandwiches, no pizza. Bread, in its many forms, has been a cornerstone of human civilization for millennia. From the earliest flatbreads to today's sourdough loaves, it has nourished and inspired us. This simple food, made from little more than flour and water, has a surprisingly rich history. Join us as we delve into the crusty chronicles, exploring the journey of bread from ancient grains to modern marvels. The story of bread begins in the Fertile Crescent, a region of the Middle East. Here, around 10,000 years ago, humans first domesticated wild grains like wheat and barley. These early farmers ground the grains into flour, mixing it with water to create a simple dough. The first breads were flatbreads, cooked on hot stones. These flatbreads were more palatable and digestible than raw grains, fueling early civilizations. Evidence of these early flatbreads has been found at archaeological sites throughout the Fertile Crescent. In Jordan, archaeologists discovered the charred remains of a flatbread-like food dating back 14,500 years. This remarkable find suggests that bread-making may predate even the earliest evidence of agriculture. From the Fertile Crescent, bread-making spread throughout the ancient world, with each culture developing its own unique variations. In Egypt, bread became an integral part of religious ceremonies and even used as currency. Imagine the surprise of an ancient baker who, having left a mixture of flour and water to sit, returned to find it bubbly and expanded. This accidental discovery, likely occurring in ancient Egypt around 3000 BC, marked a turning point in bread history. It ushered in the era of leavened bread. Leavened bread, unlike flatbread, rises due to a leavening agent. Yeast or bacteria produce carbon dioxide gas. This gas gets trapped, causing the dough to rise. The result is lighter, airier bread with complex flavor. Bread, in its infinite variety, is a testament to human ingenuity and our deep-rooted connection to food. From the crusty baguettes of France to the pillowy naan of India, each culture has embraced bread and made it its own. In France, the baguette holds almost sacred status with its long, slender shape and crisp crust. Moving east, we encounter the chewy, flavorful bagels of Jewish cuisine, boiled before baking for their signature texture. In India, naan, cooked in a tandoor oven, is a staple accompaniment to curries and stews. Across the Atlantic, Mexico boasts its iconic tortillas, thin, unleavened flatbreads made from corn or wheat flour. Venturing further south, we encounter Brazilian pão de queijo, cheesy bread rolls made with tapioca flour. The world of bread is a testament to human creativity and our ability to transform simple ingredients into an astonishing array of flavors and textures. Bread, far from being just a source of sustenance, is deeply intertwined with culture, tradition, and spirituality across the globe. It holds symbolic meanings, plays a central role in religious rituals, and inspires art, literature, and even language. In many cultures, bread represents nourishment, hospitality, and even life itself. Breaking bread together is a universal symbol of sharing, community, and togetherness. Religious texts are replete with references to bread, often imbued with spiritual significance. In Christianity, bread represents the body of Christ in the Eucharist, a central sacrament. In Judaism, challah, a braided bread, is traditionally eaten on the Sabbath and holidays, symbolizing joy and holiness. The importance of bread in society is reflected in language, with idioms like breadwinner highlighting its association with livelihood and sustenance. Bread, in its various forms, has found its way into literature, art, and folklore, continuing to inspire creative expression. Behind the seemingly simple act of baking bread lies a fascinating world of science. Understanding the chemical reactions that occur when flour, water, and yeast combine can transform baking from a mysterious art into an empowering science. Flour, the foundation of bread, is composed primarily of starch, a complex carbohydrate. When mixed with water, the starch granules absorb water and swell, creating a sticky dough. Yeast, a microscopic fungus, is the key to leavened bread. Yeast cells feed on sugars present in flour, producing carbon dioxide gas as a byproduct. This gas gets trapped within the gluten network, a web-like structure formed by proteins in wheat flour. As the dough ferments, the gluten strands stretch and expand, creating the airy texture of leavened bread. Kneading the dough is crucial for developing the gluten structure, aligning the gluten strands and giving the dough strength and elasticity. Baking in a hot oven transforms the dough into bread, with the Maillard reaction creating the characteristic brown crust and complex flavors. The world of bread baking is not without its quirks and surprising ingredients. One such curiosity is the use of pineapple juice in dough. Pineapple juice contains an enzyme called bromelain, a protease that breaks down proteins. In bread dough, bromelain helps to tenderize the gluten, resulting in a softer crumb texture. This is particularly useful when working with doughs that have a high protein content, which can sometimes result in a chewier bread. In addition to tenderizing the gluten, pineapple juice also adds a subtle sweetness and enhances browning. The natural sugars in pineapple juice caramelize during baking, contributing to a more pronounced crust color. The acidity of pineapple juice can also help to activate the yeast, promoting a better rise. While pineapple juice can be a useful addition to bread dough, it's important to use it sparingly to avoid a dense, gummy loaf. So, the next time you encounter pineapple juice in a bread recipe, don't be surprised. It serves a practical purpose. The Industrial Revolution transformed societies and technologies, leaving its mark on bread. Gone were the days of small, local bakeries replaced by large-scale industrial production. This shift increased bread's availability but also changed its flavor, texture, and nutritional profile. Automated machinery revolutionized bread making, with industrial mills grinding grain into flour at an unprecedented scale. Large, mechanized mixers kneaded dough efficiently, while industrial ovens churned out thousands of loaves per hour. Bread became a mass-produced commodity. This shift led to the rise of sliced bread, a seemingly simple innovation that transformed bread consumption. In 1928, Otto Rohwedder introduced the first automatic bread slicer, and sliced bread was an instant success. However, industrialization came at a cost, with manufacturers incorporating additives and preservatives to streamline production and extend shelf life. The use of bleached flour, stripped of its natural nutrients and bran, became widespread, contributing to a decline in the nutritional value and flavor complexity of industrially produced bread. In the latter half of the 20th century, amidst the rise of processed foods, a counter-movement emerged, a resurgence of interest in artisanal bread. This movement, championed by passionate bakers and discerning eaters, sought to reclaim the traditional methods and flavors of bread making. Artisanal bread is characterized by its use of high-quality ingredients, traditional fermentation techniques, and a focus on flavor and texture. Sourdough bread, with its tangy flavor and chewy texture, became a symbol of this artisanal movement. Sourdough relies on a sourdough starter, a fermented mixture of flour and water that acts as a natural leavening agent. The long fermentation process develops complex flavors and improves the digestibility of the bread. Bakers are experimenting with ancient grains, heritage wheat varieties, and traditional baking methods to create loaves that are both delicious and nutritious. The focus is on quality over quantity, celebrating the artistry and craft of traditional bread making. As we enter the 21st century, the world of bread continues to evolve. Innovation and technology intersect with tradition, shaping the future of this beloved staple food. From gluten-free alternatives to bread-baking robots, the boundaries of bread making are constantly being pushed. The demand for gluten-free bread has skyrocketed, driven by an increase in celiac disease diagnoses and gluten sensitivities. Bakers are rising to the challenge, experimenting with alternative flours to create gluten-free breads that mimic the texture and flavor of traditional wheat-based breads. Technology is also transforming the home baking experience with sophisticated bread machines and smart ovens. The future of bread is likely to be a fusion of tradition and innovation, with a focus on high-quality, nutritious, and flavorful bread. Bakers, embracing both traditional methods and cutting-edge technology, will continue to shape the future of this beloved staple. From its humble origins as flatbreads cooked on hot stones to the artisanal loaves gracing our tables today, bread has journeyed through millennia, its story deeply intertwined with the story of humanity. It has nourished civilizations, inspired rituals, and fostered a sense of community across cultures. Bread, in its infinite variety, reflects the ingenuity and adaptability of humankind. While industrialization may have temporarily altered its course, the artisanal bread movement has sparked a renewed appreciation for traditional methods and quality ingredients. As we look towards the future, bread continues to evolve, embracing innovation while staying true to its roots. The story of bread is far from over, continuing to be written every day in kitchens and bakeries around the world. So, the next time you break bread, take a moment to appreciate the rich history and cultural significance of this timeless staple.